friends, hello fellow adventurers. Welcome to Rolling Solo RPG. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for watching. Anybody new, thank you for coming on in. I'm going to just jump straight into it, as I always do. Last time we left our heroes, they had just followed Brak back to his mansion, which they had no idea that this lizard folk man had money. He didn't let it on, though he is very well dressed. So, he brought them inside. They were greeted by a small, little goblin lady, who seems to be his employee. Maybe works around the house, cooks, cleans, rich people kind of thing. Her name is Kiko, and I kind of drew up a little concept. Well, I didn't draw it up. I just kind of made it on Hero Forge. Very great website for creating miniatures, and they have a lot of options, so you can really create just about anything. But this is kind of what I envisioned. If anybody's unfamiliar with goblins in the Pathfinder world, they basically pretty much all have giant red eyes, solid red eyes. So that's why that was there. And the name Kiko just kind of gave me a very Japanese-y vibe. So I just kind of addressed her accordingly. She's got a nice little teapot and a little plate in her hand, but just for a good visual reference, we met Kiko, and we rolled a random event, which ended up being new NPC, but that was just as I was introducing Kiko, so I just kind of paired those together. I didn't take that any further than that. But as Kiko greeted Brak, now our heroes, Zargo and Vega, know Brak as Vinith, because he has not revealed that his name is truly Brak. But when Kiko greeted Brak, she accidentally used his name, Master Brak. My goblin voice sucks, forgive me. I'm probably gonna go up, if she has to speak anytime during the rest of the future, it's probably gonna not always be the same. Regardless, she gave him away. Zargo noticed this, Vega did not. She was probably just awestruck by this beautiful, lavish mansion that they are in. Regardless, Kiko went to fetch refreshments, and Brak called them back to one of his large rooms. Now, they enter this room. I'm seeing like a large conference room. There's a large, long table in the center of the room, chairs lined around it. Beautiful white walls, gold trim, not actual gold trim, but like golden stained trim along the walls. Big, beautiful arched windows. But it is dark right now, so there's no light coming in from the windows. The sconces on the wall, of course, beautifully decorated, are alight with ever-burning torches. So Brak, Vega, and Zargo come in this room and sit down. Brak has information that he found out on Amari. We do not know what this information is, and that is one thing we need to figure out right now. What table should I roll on? We'll just go with the simple descriptor table. First word, 65. Meaningfully. Second word, 25. Meaningfully enormous. Alright, I'm thinking that is a location. So, Amari has all but abandoned the office area that we discovered a few sessions ago, which also means we need to figure out what this new location is. We know that it's enormous. I'm going to roll on the locations table just to get a little bit more information on what this place could be. On the locations table we have 03, artistic. Second word, 42, full. Artistic and full. Alright, I have a couple ideas. I'm going to roll the dice to see whether it is inside the port district or outside the port district, and that will narrow down my ideas. Is it inside the port district? 50-50. 32, yes it is. Alright, so it is inside the port district. I'm thinking enormous means warehouse. Artistic means that this warehouse is filled with all sorts of art, which is really on the nose, pottery, treasures, well-crafted carts, well-crafted wagons, blades, armor, all sorts of stuff from very well-known artisans and artists, very well-known blacksmiths, because this warehouse is where they are storing all their stolen goods that this underground network has been collecting, including, most likely, hopefully, the item that was stolen from the museum in the beginning that Zargo needs to find and finally recover, because Zargo is a woman of her word, and her main goal right now is just to get that artifact and put it back in the museum. That is all I have wanted. That's all Zargo has wanted since episode 1, session 1, however you want to say that. Alright, so we know that, and Brak is going to explain that to our other two heroes. And as he's kind of going through what I just went through with you all, Hiko comes in, because they've only been here probably a minute or two. It took me longer to figure out what it was than their conversation's going to last. Hiko comes in holding a tray of nice little pastries, of course some tea. What setting is not complete without some tea? Three very nice glasses. She also has on her tray like a little container of salve and a couple cloths. She sets the tray down on the table. She hands out a cup for both Zargo and Vega, and she pours the tea very, very elegantly. Asks if they want sugar. Does Zargo want sugar? This is a game of rolling. Why not? 57, no. Does Vega want sugar? 31, yes. Vega would like some sugar. Thank you, Kiko. I greatly appreciate it. Yes, thank you, Kiko. This tea is rather good. Kiko bows, and she goes over. She's, Master. Just Master. I noticed your burns all over your body. Are you okay? I have some salve here. Let me apply that. You don't want them to get infected. Thank you, Kiko. I can apply it myself. I appreciate you. But I am fine. No worries. I also see that your large friend there is very, very hurt. And, well, she's kind of bleeding all over the furniture. No worries, it will come right out. It's not a problem. But would you like me to fetch the healing tools? And you can display your great knack for medical practice for the guests. You are too kind, Kiko. But I would not mind. Zargo, that is up to you, though. Would you like me to see what I can do about your wounds? Yes, I am feeling rather fatigued at the moment. I would appreciate it. I almost forgot that I was bleeding all over the place. Just with all that's, happening, losing my place of residence and all my belongings. I guess the blood pouring out of my wounds was the last on my mind. But yes, if you don't mind, I would very, very much appreciate it. Kiko goes and fetches the tools, brings them back. And we are going to have Brak do a couple medicine rolls to heal Zargo up. And while he is doing that, he's going to continue to kind of go over the information he found. You know, it's a warehouse. It's located over by the docks. It has a boat entrance to the water, so boats can come directly in and out of the warehouse as well. So I like to say it is enormous, big enough to house boats, big enough to house all of the stockpiles of stolen goods. All right, he's just gonna go ahead and kind of start stitching up some of the wounds. On a critical failure, he deals 1d8 damage, so it's gonna be really funny if, you know, Kiko was just trying to brag about him, and he ends up like literally knocking Zargo unconscious. But let's see. The dice are usually very unfair to me, so I'm almost certain that might happen. He has a +6 to his medicine check, so he begins stitching up Zargo's wounds. A 6 and a 7 is a fail. Now it takes 10 minutes, so he's just kind of talking as he does this. He's kind of half paying attention to the story a little too much. He's unable. Ooh, 10 more minutes goes by. Well, damn, that's a 14. I tell you, these dice know the DC that I need, and they just like get right up to the edge of it and don't give it to me. He just needs a 9 or higher. Still talking, still conversating. Oh, what? 8. You know, whatever. I thought I was going to play that off, but we're just going to skip over that. Vega sees that he's distracted by this, and she's just going to use the last potion that we found in the sewers that night. Brak, I do not doubt your expertise in the medical field, but perhaps it would just be quicker if we used this healing potion I have, and we can get on with it. Yes, of course. I apologize. This doesn't normally happen. Alright, 3d8 plus 10. To get Zargo a little bit of health back. "26 points of health. Brings her back up to 30. My apologies. Apologies, Zargo. Good enough for now. The bleeding has stopped. The magical potion courses through her veins and begins to seal up the wounds, and the blood begins to cease to flow out of Zargo's body and onto this beautiful furniture. And about that time, Brak is finishing up, telling them that Kiko comes in, she retrieves the tools, she's going to go put them back, and Brak is kind of like, his attention's on Kiko, and he's like, "Thank you, Kiko. You are too kind." But as Brak's attention is on Kiko, I want to find out, because Zargo noticed when Kiko said Brak's name. Now, I want to know, did Zargo recognize the name? Like, because this dude's rich, and she's lived in this town this whole time. I mean, rich people are usually a little more well-known. Not always, of course. But I think it'd be cool if, like, she knows him. Like, "Oh, hey, you're that guy." Does Zargo recognize the name Brak Neelan? Because she does already know his last name. You know what? I'll make it likely. Does Zargo recognize the name? 21. Unlikely is a yes. So Zargo kind of leans over to Vega, and she's like, Vega, earlier when we came in, I heard Kiko say Brak. Master Brak. Surely this can't be Brakarusk Neelan, the Brakarusk Neelan. Does Vega also know the name? I'm going to say, since Zargo knew it, I'm going to say it's very likely. Does Vega also know the name? An 11! Not only is that an extreme yes, that is a random event. Yes, the last random event was a little bit of a dud. So let's see. The event focus is 15. Another new NPC. Are you kidding? Okay, another new NPC. I think this is time to try out my new deck of cards I bought. You guys can't see this. I wish I had better camera setups so that you could, but it's just a little Pathfinder deck of endless NPCs. All right, so there's a lot going on with these cards. I mean, you can choose to ignore any of it, but I was just kind of reading over. So we have a human woman who is a vagrant. So this homeless NPC can often be found looking for simple work or trying to find a place to sleep. And then on the other side of the card, there's what they're kind of like doing currently, which it says "Pay me" with shouts and pleas. This NPC is demanding to be paid for past goods or services. And then you do some other figuring out with how the cards work, but she's a war refugee, which I don't understand, but she is happy. And then all the kind of parts work together and it reveals a secret if certain things are met. And the secret is this character recently came into a great deal of wealth. And if H is 3, which it is, it was an illegal source. So what I'm thinking is, as Zargo's leaned over talking to Vega, and Brak is conversating with Kiko, there's a knock at the door. Kiko's ears perk up.
Oh, I'll get it. You stay here, master.
Kiko runs runs to the front door. Of course, our heroes' ears are going to be on what's happening. They're all completely silent in this room. They hear a bit of back and forth between Kiko and whoever's at the door. Kiko closes the door, comes back in.
Master, master, there's someone at the door that wants to speak with you.
Excuse me, friends. Please, continue to enjoy your refreshments.
But of course, Brak goes over to the door, and Zargo and Vega come out of the room, and they kind of peek around the corner to see what is going on. And they are within earshot, and they can hear there is a woman outside the door.
Brak. It's me, Jalen. I'm the one that got that information for you. And you promised a bit of payment. I'm just here to collect that payment.
So I'm thinking this woman was the one that went out and one of his sources, I'm thinking. And since she's a homeless person, that leads me to believe that Brak kind of has connections. I mean, not only, I'm sure he has to have connections with the upper class, but he really has some stronger connections with the homeless people, kind of if anybody's played The Witcher, like the King of Beggars, and how all the homeless people are actually the eyes and ears. That appears in a lot of different media, actually, but how the homeless people are the eyes and the ears of the streets and a lot of the illegal ongoings. So that actually makes a lot of sense. And she's just here to collect her payment. And it says she's really happy about it. And since it's funny because the secret was she came into a great deal of wealth, which is what I think what Brak's getting ready to give her, because it's from an illegal source, and he was illegally, obviously, kind of trying to gather some information. So Brak, of course, he's like,
Of course. One moment.
and he closes the door, and he sees that he sees that Zargo and Vega are watching him, and he kind of gives him a finger, 1 moment. He goes upstairs and wherever he keeps his money, and he comes back down with a pretty big, hefty sack. He opens the door again.
Here you are, as promised. Thank you for doing what you did. And tell your boss there's a bit extra in there for him.
And he closes the door. All right, cool. What was her name? Jalen. I'm gonna add her to the characters list, which I have not been updating too frequently. I did just add Kiko to it, and we are gonna add Jalen. Homeless lady. I'll just write homeless. I'll know what it means, and that's what counts.
Alright, and since we're on it, threads list I don't feel like really needs to be updated right now. Cool, awesome. Alright, so, back to it. Where are our heroes going to go from here? I'm hitting that 30-minute mark, so I'm thinking our heroes are going to... I've realized in rewatching my own videos that I say the word "so" a lot, so I apologize to anybody out there if that bothers them as much as it bothers me. Just about every time I begin a sentence, I use "so this, so that." I'm gonna try to veer away from that if I can catch myself. But back to the story. Brak kind of turns back to the people. Brak turns to Zargo and Vega.
Well, I reckon we should move swiftly and strike while the iron is hot, as they say. I am in need of a knife. I am in need of a weapon, since I left it in that burning building. Zargo, I saw your shield broke, and I do not believe you are able to retrieve your sword.
Was she like just still holding on? Maybe she had like a death grip on her sword as she was being pulled out of that burning building. Maybe I'm thinking not. I'm thinking nearly impossible. Did Zargo was she able to keep her sword with her? Ooh, 0-5 on a nearly impossible. That's a yes. She was okay. So she had a death grip on that thing. So he probably didn't even say that. He saw that she has her sword. But anyway, he did. He does mention.
I see that your shield was shattered and left there as well. Follow me. I have a bit of a arms room, if you will.
And he kind of leads them to this really beautiful downward spiraling staircase that descends down. The temperature kind of drops, as you go down a little bit underground. It is a basement, but it doesn't look like a basement. It is extremely well lit. The walls are beautiful marble, not ugly stone bricks. He leads them into a room just off to the side. Big, huge room, lined with suits of armor on one wall. On the other wall, blades from small to large, well crafted, beautiful on the other wall. At the back wall, ranged weapons of all kinds, bows, crossbows, throwing stars, throwing knives. Then, like in the center, a large display case of some of the most elegant star knives, which is his preferred weapon, of course. And then also kind of like towards the front as you enter, like on either side, there are beautiful display cases filled with potions of all kinds.
Choose what you like. We need to be well outfitted for this mission. I do not believe it is going to be easy.
So I'm thinking he kind of has like a Batman-esque vibe going on. I'm not gonna say he like has endless money so they can go out and buy whatever they want, and whatever they do pick out, it's not gonna be like, oh, here's a +2 extreme fire striking sword with unlimited health respawns. They're just gonna be basic shit, but this is all for theatrical purposes. They are, however, going to take a few potions, and again, I'm not going to give them like the biggest potions possible. I'm not just going to hand out freebies for my characters. I do love my characters, but I'm not going to just hand them everything on a silver platter. I am, however, going to give them lesser healing potions, which is a level 3 item, so they are only level 2 right now. After this episode, I believe they're going to be only like 200 XP shy of leveling up anyway, so before they get done with the dungeon, quote unquote, however that ends up going, I'm almost certain that they're gonna be level 3 anyway, so I don't feel like that's too big of a stretch. So each one of them is going to gain, I think he has a decent stockpile, enough for each of them to have 3 healing potions on them. I mean, yes, obviously I am just giving them some freebies, which I just stated I wasn't going to, but it's minuscule, I feel like, in my opinion. I don't feel like I'm breaking my own game at all. So they're each going to get 3 lesser healing potions. Zargo is going to just re-get her shield, basically. She's going to get a new shield, so full HP on her shield. And I don't believe they're going to go tonight. I think that Brak was just kind of like showing them where the stuff is. I think they're going to rest for the night. It's starting to get pretty late. Brak is really hurt. Zargo's still kind of feeling it. Vega, she's probably good to go if she needed to. But both Vega and Zargo are going to have to be at work in the morning. Because yes, Vega is part of the rebellion or the resistance. We're going to figure out a name for them at some point, so I can just stop calling it that. She is, I think I just said so a bunch of times. Apologize. Still working on that. Vega is still interested in remaining a guard because that is kind of her duty for her rebellion. That's like her spot. They need people on the guards, they need people in the blacksmiths, they need people in the docks. They kind of need people stationed in certain areas. However it is, they have that figured out. Therefore, Vega is interested in remaining a guard, and Zargo loves being a guard, so they're definitely going to show up for work in the morning, well rested and good to go. So that's where we're going to end it tonight. Brak obviously is going to allow them to stay in one of his multiple beautiful rooms with beautiful comfy beds, and they're all going to get to rest for the night. I also believe they're going to kind of go around, drink a few potions, close up the wounds with their healing medicines. I'm not going to bother wasting my time and yours with all that. I'm going to just give them full HP so that when they start in the morning, everything's going to be beautiful and good to go. But yeah, I'm going to stop it there. Thank you for anybody that is still watching, continuing to watch. That was very, again, heavy role-playing, no action. I apologize if anybody's here for action and is not getting it. But if you're here for role-playing, maybe you were, sated in a way. I had fun. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate anybody that watches and makes it this far into the video. I will catch you all next episode where we are going to hopefully get into some fun and just rage in this warehouse and finally find this stuff and blah, 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 blah. I'm just wasting time now. Thank you guys. Catch you next time.
Goodbye, friends.